The South African Airways strike continues for a second day with all flights cancelled. More than 3,000 employees are striking to push home their demand for an 8% increase. They're also protesting against planned retrenchments. Reporter Kylie Kumalo joins us now live from OR Tambo International Airport. Good morning, Kaya. Can you set the scene for us? Tell us about frustrated passengers that might still be stranded there. Are there NUMSA members picketing at the airport itself?
Well, very much so. There's a great deal of frustration here at the OR Tambo International Airport, especially because more of the South African Airways customers are still streaming in. So despite a number of efforts where the national carrier has been urging passengers to make sure that before they come and land here at OR Tambo International Airport, for example, they should just check and rebook their tickets so that they try and minimize the impact of their industrial action. But of course we know that there are efforts today through the CCMA to try and make sure that they deal with this particular industrial action, because it's really having a knock-on effect. Quite a number of passengers we got an opportunity to speak to. There were about 4 gentlemen. They came all the way from Dubai and they landed this morning, so they're in limbo, and their final destination is Zambia, Lusaka. So they're still trying to ascertain as to how will the national carrier SAA be able to assist them in this regard, because they don't know what to do. They're literally stranded around here, so they're still waiting as to what's going to be the way forward.
Kai, you mentioned the CCMA's attempts to try and resolve this impasse by getting SAA and NUMSA to talk to each other. Are those talks going ahead today, or are we still waiting to find out?
So CCMA is one option that we're all keenly waiting for, but also more importantly, the workers will continue pickets outside the SAA offices. So just a few kilometers from the airports, literally. So that's where the pickets will continue. But also just in terms of the impact of the strike, it's really having a massive impact for the South African Airways. We know this is a beleaguered airline. Financially, it's still recovering, and also from time to time it requires a bailout. And for example, there was a confirmation from SAA that they lost about 52 million rand from yesterday. So if second day continues, it's likely to be a very similar amount. But also, more importantly, there's an issue around the communication. So a lot of passengers, they're using the travel agent. So from time to time the message is not really coming down to them to seek alternative arrangement. A lot of them, they were, airbound and traveling when the message was communicated.
Kaya, you mentioned a little bit earlier there the cost of the strike, the future impact, possible future bailouts being necessary, and SAA being a state-owned enterprise. What comment have we heard from government and from the presidency with regards to the strike?
Well, obviously, when you look at the presidency's remarks, President Ramaphosa said it is an industrial action, and of course they're calling for a solution. But also, more importantly, we know that the Minister of Public Enterprises has also been very firm in trying to seek solutions for the South African Airways, and because it is a troubled parastatal, from time to time it requires guarantees, and of course you've had a number of CEOs, acting CEOs, that you have, acting staff at a very top level, really just causing all sorts of instability for this particular institution. But of course, we're just going to continue to monitor the events here. During the course of the morning, we're expecting to be joined by the South African Airways spokesperson to really give us an indication in terms of the way forward and how they are willing to assist some of their customers who are really caught up into this industrial action.